What up, fam? Welcome back to Dude Sick Podcast. On today's episode, I interview a man named Evan Smedley. We talk about all things BMX, talk about Jibbin, we talk about family, we talk about Austin, Texas, we talk about all different kinds of shit. So, please welcome Evan Smedley.
All right, you fools. You brought it on yourselves.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Yeah, Dude Sick!
Yeah, Dude Sick Podcast. Bitches.
And we're live. Evan Smedley, how you doing, man?
Good. About yourself?
I'm good, man. Thanks for joining me, dude. I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. That's the coolest thing about this podcast is like all these people I've been following, I've never really like had the chance to talk to them, you know?
Yeah, I think I started following you because of Brett. And ever since then, I was like, that is one dude I would love to ride with, sit on the deck with, talk shit, drink a beer, you name it. Anything that involves just having a good time.
Yeah, dude. It's been fucking cool because I've just had this open invite for people to like finally like hit me up, man. Let's finally talk, you know what I mean? So it's been sick. But hey, dude, Brett, he's a good dude. I met him in Virginia, and I know you guys may have like grown up around the same area, possibly.
Yeah, we didn't really meet till later on in life. Maybe 19 or 20, actually. We lived relatively close, probably about 30-ish minutes away from each other. But there were some heavy weekends. I lived in a college town, and he happened to have friends that lived there as well. So he would come, hang out, we would ride all day, and then, as you know, in college towns, proceeded to party for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that's life right there, man. Riding, drinking, partying, and just fucking rinse and repeat, you know? That's sick.
Yeah.
Brett, the thing about Brett, it's like I've never met someone so open to just like talk about how much they masturbate. Fucking Brett's awesome.
He Yeah, he really lets it loose. He knows how to have a good time, I should say.
Yeah, we'd like get ready to go for a session. We were living together for a few months, and I'm like, "Yo, let's go, man. You ready?" He'd be like, "Dude, give me like 10 minutes, man. I'm gonna go get this done, and then we can roll out." Like, all right, sick.
Just so nonchalant, like it's like taking
Yeah.
a shower or making like a protein shake. Like,
Yeah,
I got this. Just give me my time, my allotted time.
yeah, I love Brett.
I shared so many beds with him. That makes me kind of weird out.
Right. You're from Pennsylvania, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you definitely have a heavy PA accent, dude.
Really? I don't.
Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Where are you from?
I'm from Wisconsin, man. So
Like you're from Wisconsin. I knew that you lived there. I just didn't know if you were from there. You don't have a Wisconsin accent. I don't like.
I'm from the very south end, so almost Illinois.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, but dude, you got it heavy. I got a friend named Scott who's from Pennsylvania, and you guys talk exactly the same. It's uncanny. It's crazy.
Oh, hell yeah.
What was life like growing up in PA?
Winters are cold. But winters are colder where you're from. So I
was about to say, you ain't got to tell me, man. I know all about it.
I can't complain to you like I can complain to other people. Grew up, my neighbor got me, my dad rode BMX when he was a kid. But not anything crazy. Like he had a Mongoose, couple bikes actually back in like the early 80s. And then he I guess grew up, you know, once most people get that age, they sort of grow out of it. But at the first sign that I liked riding bikes, he was completely for me riding bikes as well. Like I got a bike, he built up his old Mongoose. It's actually still sitting in his garage. It's perfect working order. Like I don't even know half the parts because I mean we're talking early 80s. I'm sure some of the old school guys could identify them, but I started racing. And when I got into racing, my dad took me to the track. Track was almost 2 hours away from the house. So
Damn.
that didn't last very long.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
And I don't blame him. I remember one time we drove all the way there. I crashed like second lap warm up and we left. And just thinking about that now makes me cringe. Like driving 2 hours to the skate park, taking your warm up lap and like dying and then having to turn around and go drive 2 hours home.
Yeah, dude. Sound like you had a good dad though, man. He was supporting your shit from early on. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, he always supported, I guess, my love for BMX. But okay, so once that stopped happening, that's when he actually found the closest skate park. Because he growing up watching X Games, like I remember Travis Pastrana jumping into the river in San Francisco. Like I remember watching Tony Hawk do the first 900, like just shit like that. And I remember watching BMX Bert thinking, there's no way I could ever do that. Like I think I had a pair of like inline skates or something.
Sweet.
So the first several times I went to the skate park, I was an inliner, and then I had a skateboard, and then gradually just moved on to the bike, and then the bike is what really stuck. So
yeah, now you just jib. What's up with that?
I couldn't tell you. Maybe I'm tired.
Let's talk about jibbing. I feel like jibbing is still BMX, but it's just different. You know what I mean? It's like this I don't know, dude. It's still like this way to get your energy out and, you know, get the passion out for riding, but in a more like safe, easy way.
Yeah. And I have lived in some areas where there wasn't any skate parks. So there was a 5-stair or like a ledge. So I guess I just got used to like riding those things. And then I kind of remember like late 2000s when, and I'm sure you remember when like the foot jams were cool.
Oh,
so
fuck yeah.
Everyone's just dancing around on the deck. And I was like, that's so sick. So
yeah,
there was
thanks a lot, V Club.
Oh, I don't think I could count how many times I watched like V Club videos.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But there was a skate park that I would frequent very rarely that the ceiling was 6 feet tall. So the tallest ramp it was in a basement. The tallest ramp might've been 4 feet.
Oh, damn.
So you can't exactly air.
Yeah. That's tight.
So thus you learn how to start dancing and start just jibbing around. And now it's like, don't get me wrong, I love a good sized bowl. Like, what's that skate park in Virginia Beach that has that crazy bowl in the middle?
There's
it's concrete.
There's one there's a couple. There's one in Virginia Beach that's called Bayside that has a really deep bowl.
I think that one, like
it's like 13 feet in the deep end.
Yeah, I remember riding that thing and loving it. Just like you get a foot out and you realize I'm 15 feet above the ground right now. Like
it's wild that riding shit like that just makes you realize how good some dudes really are. You know,
it's that park. I wish I was able. Like I want to go back because I didn't get enough time there. I don't think, but. And then the other bowl on the outside of that, I guess to the right or behind it, I guess how you're looking at it, that like big bank with the little parking stopper on.
Yeah, that's Bayside. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the coolest park.
Yeah,
just
that's
like, fun. Like I do love, like I like big stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy and try to air as high as possible, but it is fun, you know, get some air. And it's also fun to try a manual line for 3 hours.
Yeah, and just for everybody listening, Evan is the unofficial king of the jib. He is the fucking jib master. So
I definitely can. I know plenty of people that deserve that crown way more.
The jib crown. That's awesome.
No way.
But yeah, dude, I enjoy watching you ride, man, because it's just you're really fucking good, but it's very accessible. You know what I mean? Like you could go jump on a fucking curb and do some cool shit, and it's cool to see. So keep that shit up for sure.
Well, thank you. I don't know. I mean, we are probably pretty close in age, right? How old are you?
I'm 22.
You're 22?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm about to be 36 in August.
I was gonna say there's no way. So I turned 30. I turned 32 in October. We're pretty close. Like we probably grew up with the same.
Same era for sure.
Like I grew up like, oh man, when for some reason forward pops in my head. Like I grew up and I realized that people still do it now, but it's just not as I can't think of the word. Things are a lot more specific now. And there's nothing wrong with that by any means. I mean, people are pushing the sport like BMX so crazy far. But I remember watching like Josh Stricker clips where he's riding dirt jumps or riding street or riding ramps, and just I think I grew to like I always just want to ride everything. And I'm not trying to say that everyone doesn't want to ride everything, but I remember one day we'd go ride street, the next day we'd go to the dirt jumps, and then we'd go to the skate park, or there was a skate park that had a vert ramp, so we'd like session that for a while. I want to ride as many different things as possible. Yeah,
it's weird to say, but like just looking at somebody's style, you can tell kind of the era they grew up in for the most part. Like if I see one clip of you, I can tell that you lived through the stuff that I rode and the stuff that I saw, you know?
It is nice. I often find myself talking more on the deck now than riding. I don't know what age that started, but like there are just some people where you're sitting on a deck and it's like, I would much rather hear stories personally than ride. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Totally. No, I totally agree. I go down to Louisville every once in a while, and I meet up with Keith Trainer. He lives down there, and dude, I'll take 2 runs the whole fucking session, and I don't even think about it like that, you know. It just that's how it works. It's weird.
Yeah, and also like I said to you before, I don't talk about BMX to many people. Dana, my fiance, she doesn't give a shit about BMX.
Oh yeah.
So I'll rattle things off to her like, yo, look at this clip Chase did. Like, oh my God. And she's just like, cool.
Oh, yeah. I'm way past showing my wife anything BMX related. And like, I kind of like that though. Like I like that we're divided in our hobbies and our interests, you know what I mean? Because I've never been the one to bring my girl to the skate park, dude.
So I did that when we first moved to Austin. I actually, like, Dana came with me to the skate park because I had been to Austin many times before, but that was her first time down there when we moved down there. And the first person I saw there was Scotty Mezcal, rest in peace. And I don't remember word for word what he said, but he was like, I didn't know it was bring your girlfriend to the skate park day. Awesome. And I felt like such a tool.
So transparent, dude. I love that guy.
He was awesome. Like such a bummer.
And it was really odd how we became like close friends because we met each other through Instagram, but then when I went down to Texas in 2014, we actually met, and I don't know, man, it felt like we were fucking best friends immediately, you know?
Exactly what I was just about to say. You were instantly best friends with this guy. I never met him before in my life. And then you're like talking to him all the time, texting. He's like talking shit, but then it's like, I love you afterwards. And it's just like he was the best dude. Yeah,
very transparent. And like he did something that I'll never fucking forget, man. At one time I was talking to him about like, you know, inspirations in BMX and shit like that. And I had mentioned Ruben, and literally like a couple weeks later, he texted me a video of Ruben like saying what's up to me from his skate park in Spain. He's like, you know, hola, Casey, whatever. Like, I was floored by that, man. Like for him to go out of his way to do that and like for no reason, you know?
He was a legend. I don't really know. And I'm really upset that I wasn't able to stay in Austin longer, or like I wasn't able to know him more than, I mean, I saw him, like I'd see him at house and like other random places, like as we get the morning sessions in all the time, but just wish I could have like known him more, spent more time with him, I guess.
Yeah. Was he as involved as he kind of let on through his social media? He just seemed like he was there probably almost every day.
He was there pretty much every day. There would be so like random times where I don't want to say we'd like fall out, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
if weather was bad for like a week or two, you sort of hang out. Like you don't really get to the morning session as often, or if you're busy.
Yeah.
And then there is the hashtag Where's Scotty,
Mm.
and then 2 days later, right back on it. They're every morning at like 5 o'clock, sweeping out the bowl, like,
Mm.
and he just taking care of people.
Yeah.
I remember after I got on Mutiny, we would just be at the skate park, and he would just go. He would be telling random people like, "I got him on Mutiny." Like
Oh,
just
shit.
like thing, just like it's just like that. That's Scotty. It's just he was like the best. He was just so funny, the best
Just
dude.
yeah, transparent, man. Rest in peace, Scotty. That's it's a bummer, dude. But so you were on Mutiny. I was gonna ask, like, had you ever been sponsored before? Because I know you rep a lot of a lot of companies and shit, but I just never really knew your history like that.
Yeah, I got on Mutiny in 2014. Might have been early 2015. And then before that, Robbie at Colt had hooked me up with a frame
Nice.
and was just like helped me out with like random little things here and there. But started riding for Mutiny in 2015, and then around the late 2016. No wait, when was Rowan born?
Awesome.
At some point,
At some point, yeah.
Dana was pregnant, and so we had to make the hard decision of, do we stay in Austin and try to tough it out with no family,
Mhm.
or do we move back home, have the family help us out? And then we landed on the decision of moving back home, and then was back home for probably like a year or two. And I don't want to say I was depressed, but I was definitely in a weird headspace. Rowan was getting a little bit older. I had gotten like a 9-to-5 job, and I just didn't really know if I could make it work. Like I didn't want to just be like leeching. I don't know if leeching is the word I want to use, but I didn't want to be taking stuff from Mutiny, from Gaz, if I couldn't help promote the brand, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah, that
So
makes
like
sense.
I would rather step down and let someone else, like whoever else it is, have that spot, help the brand, help grow the brand, help promote. Because it was like winter time and I wasn't going to the skate park, and it was just, I was in like a weird headspace. I like deleted my Instagram. Don't care about followers, but yeah, I was just in like a weird headspace, and then I guess like that was really it. And like I still feel bad. Like I love Gaz. I still talk to Gaz all the time because he runs a lot. So whenever we talk, it's never really about BMX anymore. It's all about
Oh,
running, because he got
okay.
into running real heavy, and I've been getting into running real heavy. So it's good to know that like he's like an actual friend, and it wasn't just like a BMX acquaintance, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about some running because I'm pretty big into running too, but I also wanted to just touch on like, how do you feel now mentally? You know what I mean? You said, I mean, your daughter's obviously a few years. How old is she now?
She just turned 4 in May.
Okay, so
Now I definitely feel a lot better. I don't know, like I guess it seems like I rep a lot of companies. I just a lot of the companies that I'm into, I like to think are like, well, I'm into BMX. I don't know. Like if I buy a frame and I tag them in a post, I'm not trying to say that I'm sponsored by them.
I
I'm
know,
hooked up
no,
by
I
them.
know fully.
So
Yeah, there's a big difference, and that's good. Dude, I love that you do that, and I love that other people do that. Like, I used to do that shit my whole life growing up. Like as a kid, I would rep every brand that I just thought was cool. You know what I mean? I'd have fucking 80 different stickers on my frame. You know?
it's actually funny you say that, because I've been thinking lately. Well, a lot of pictures are surfacing through my dad. He has pictures from when I was younger. And I was like looking at my stickers on my helmet when I was a kid and like my bike. And every single sticker, I have a big Etnies sticker on my helmet. Like when you think of BMX, I feel like depending on when you were brought up, you just think of certain companies. Like when I think of BMX, I think of Etnies. I think of Forward. Like I think of T1. Like I think of East Coast Destruction, but that's because that's where I'm from. So T1 was huge. East Coast Destruction's out of Bethlehem. Like Etnies was at that time probably I want to say the biggest shoe company. I might be wrong, but
by far. It's like who else was competing? I mean, Vans went through a really weird phase of kind of like a chunky. Although Etnies had some chunky shoes too, but Vans. It felt like Vans was following in Etnies' footsteps for a few years there.
Yeah, I mean, I think after Forward, like just that team. Like I think of that team, like Stricker or Tarada or like Joe or Taj, like all of those. Like I actually watched Forward with Rowan the other day. She paid attention for like 3 sections and then sort of ran off. But I just was sitting there still on the edge of my seat, like, dang. Rooftop did a double peg to backflip on a gigantic rail into a drainage ditch. Like,
yeah, I think if I had to sum that movie up, I'd say it was like the epitome of hardcore BMXing. You know what I mean? Like it had everything for that time. Like it was everything.
Yeah. And it's sort of funny how you brought up V Club, because I think of after that point, that was like obviously early 2000s, but towards the end, like I think of like Mutiny and V Club, and I just remember watching a lot of stuff from Texas, just like, I sweated it so bad. Like I want all of your American Apparel shirts.
Oh shit. Hell yeah. The Take.
and the Take, like I remember going to East Coast Terminal, ECT, and that's like the Take was up there, and like,
oh yeah,
you had to just give me the tightest clothes possible.
Yeah,
I was a small kid.
Dude, Holy American Apparel, like what the fuck is this? This is probably this is the softest shirt I've ever felt.
And it's not a box. It's not like, look at this cut. Oh my.
Oh shit, that's so stupid, man.
American Apparel.
It was everything though.
It was like American Apparel had BMX in the palm of its hand.
Yeah.
And it was like,
yeah. And they didn't even know. They had no idea.
No idea. It's funny, like just stuff like that just makes me laugh. But yeah, so like in my head, there's just certain things you think of when you think of BMX, and it's cool. I know Etnies was going through their own little thing, but it's like it seems like they're sort of coming back. Like they never really left, but the internet presence has been bigger, and I noticed that they're posting they're posting a lot of older stuff too. And it's just cool. I mean, on top of that, like the mid-school Instagrams, like what is that?
Oh, there's plenty now. Dude, yeah. I fucking love all of them.
The old school stuff is cool too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've plugged Real BMX, the Instagram real_BMX. I've plugged it quite a bit. It's probably hands down the best, like all around BMX Instagram, in my opinion. But just talking about Etnies real quick, I just feel like it all comes down to the shoe. You know what I mean? Like, I want to fucking support Etnies. Like, I really want to wear Etnies, but like, how can you compete with the Vans shoe, man? It's fucking perfect for riding.
And at one point, I was riding more or falling more. I don't know, but I was bruising my heel all the time with Vans. Like, and maybe there were other shoes in there that I just can't remember, but I remember wearing a pair of Vans, and it seemed like every time I wore a Vans shoe, I would bail on a manual 180 one time, and like, oh, that kind of hurt. And then that second time, that shooting pain, like
done. Yeah,
you're done. And I was, I forget what Etnies shoe I was wearing, but it didn't happen. Well, actually, Nike shoes are the best. Don't get me.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but Janowski's, I've bailed on manual. Like, I forget what I was doing, but I must have fallen 50 times, it seemed like, and never once felt like I was going to bruise my heel. But
Yeah,
can't
dude, no bullshit. Like, I was thinking about getting some dunk lows and gluing a fucking Vans sole to the bottom.
I never understood how people rode in those. I tried one once and I had no grip. It was like I was like slipping, sliding
There's
on my
fucking
pedals.
no grip at all for sure.
But
But
yeah,
dude, I just fucking want to ride some Etnies, man, because I love them so much. I know they got to be struggling. They just have to be, but like they just need a drastic makeover of their design work, dude. They need something different, you know?
I mean, I did see that there's certain. I mean, obviously, right now we know slip-ons are like Bible right now.
All the rage for sure.
And it looks like I've been seeing Etnies posts that they have slip-ons. So I mean, maybe that's the end. Like what? I don't know. I mean, I'm riding and I have a pair of Vans slip-ons right now that are actually not even BMX shoes. They're the restaurant shoes.
Oh shit.
I bought them because I was working in a bar and my other shoes sort of died and I just been wearing them. They have the best grip. I feel like I'm clipped in. I cannot express to you how good it feels to be with these shoes. I don't recommend it to anyone, but don't go out and buy restaurant shoes to ride in. But something about it's the waffle grip, but it's reverse.
Yeah.
So
I know. Yeah, for sure.
Something about it just works. So I'm not gonna argue. Like I'm gonna ride it.
Yeah, I ride those ultra range Vans, and those are not really made for BMX either. They're kind of made for running, but they're not really running shoes because I don't think they're like quite at the level of like technology when it comes to running shoes. But they work really well and they're super light. But yeah, running, man. How long you been running?
Actually, on Facebook, it just showed me 6 years ago. The other day, it was the first time I ever ran.
So why do you run?
I started running because Dana ran. And that was at that point in time, you know, we had just started dating. She was like, you should come on and run with me. I think you'd do well. And I just remember being in like elementary school or middle school and they were like, run a mile. And it was the worst torture of your life. It was like, I mean, little did I know, I definitely wasn't drinking enough water back then, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So I went on a run and I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. And then it sort of just took off from there. That's really it. And then Jim Selinsky, he's like super into running. I remember talking to him a lot when I first started about like trying to fix the technique or at least do it properly. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I just kept running, and then it would go pretty random. Like I would run every day for like 2 weeks, and then I wouldn't run for like 2 months. It really depended on what the situation was with riding. Mm-hmm. Riding was always number one. Well, at least it used to be. But at that point in time, it was, no, I'm going to go ride. I don't need to run.
Yeah.
And then once we had rowing and once I realized I can't go spend 5 hours on my bike anymore, I can take half an hour to go run 4 miles. It's like, well, all right, that's cool. Like, that's a good, it's not the perfect substitute, but it works.
No, but that's the cool thing about it. It's like you can kind of pinpoint exactly how long you're going to do it. So it allows you to kind of plan your evenings out. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to go for a half hour. I'm going to come back. I'm going to start cooking some dinner. And like, you can just plan shit out by doing that. Like
it definitely seems a lot more flexible. And that's one thing I think, well, I'm going to reel back. When I was saying that I was having a hard time, it really was what do you do when you don't ride bikes? Like I went to the beach with Dana once. She's like, I'm going to go to the beach. She's like, do you want to come with? I'm like, yeah. And we were there for like half an hour and I'm like, well, now what? She's like, we're just going to sit here. And I was like, I can't fucking do that. Like there's a awesome curved wall over there. Like I want to go ride that. Like, I think you just got so used to just that mentality of wake up, ride, or wake up, work, and then ride, or wake up, ride, and then work, whatever. There's always always BMX. You're always riding. So what the fuck do you do when you're not riding a bike? And your mindset has been since the age of 9 for me. All I want to do is ride my bike.
Yeah, I've talked about this quite a bit. It's like some kids get infected with this BMX, with this fucking BMX virus, you know what I'm saying? But some people don't. I'm like, I've always tried to figure out like how, like who does and who doesn't, and why does that person, you know what I mean? Like, and obviously it seems like you did, man.
Yeah, it was, I didn't play any sports. I was a scrawny little kid, I think, until, I don't think I stepped into a gym until I was over 21. But now it's a little different. Now, I can work out. I read a lot. Not a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. I try to read a lot. Kids take up so much of your time, but I think I'm getting better at it. I can now like sit with Rowan and just play, or like go to a field and kick a soccer ball around with her for an hour.
Yeah.
But when that first happened, it was like, what do you people do? I feel weird saying like you people, because I definitely don't mean it in that sense. But just like, what do non-BMXers do?
Yeah.
Like, what does your average person do on a Saturday when we would wake up, go to the coffee shop at 9, leave to ride at 10, not come back till 10 at night every Saturday?
Yeah, it's it's pretty fucking life-changing to have a kid. And I was pretty young when I had my son, and it was definitely a shock, dude, because I was 23 when he was born. So damn, I was 22. I don't fucking know. I was young, but it was a fucking shock, man, because those are the years where like you're supposed to be just grinding, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be just fucking riding all day, doing whatever. But yeah, and then you got a kid, and it just changes everything, man.
Yeah, it's definitely and the area. Well, not besides the kid, but where I live now, the riding scene isn't crazy big. So that's, of course, why I'm so excited to talk about BMX, because before, like, you could only really look at BMX on your computer, or like, I mean, I sit at work or I sit at home, obviously now, and I'm just looking at Instagram posts, and everyone's just like riding all the time, and I'm looking at it, so I'm always thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then like and that's when we go to a session, and all I want to do is talk, like sit on the deck and talk.
Yeah.
I definitely ride more by myself, but it's just like, I just need to talk to some like-minded people, because then after that, like, I'm cool. Like, I just, you're in your happy place.
Yeah.
Sitting there, bullshit.
Yeah, there's this weird kind of relief factor that comes with riding BMX now. I'm sure you can relate, being a dad too. Like, are you married?
We're engaged. We get married next May.
Okay, cool. I mean, you still understand. Life gets you get into this kind of routine, this like repetition with life, and it seems like some days you like, I don't know, man. It's hard to grasp the fact that you're, how do I explain it? Like, living your life right now. Like, you can't be like, hey man, next, or let's say like 10 years from now, I'm gonna start living my life, man. Like, we really got to realize that every day is very valuable, and like, you're living this life right now,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I definitely agree. Like, I don't want to say this is it, because that kind of makes it sound kind of sad. But yeah, you're making it work.
Yeah, and like, it's really fucking, honestly, like, after I had my vasectomy, yeah, I'm getting personal, but after I had that, man, and I realized that I'm not having any more kids, like, it just made me fucking cherish every day with my kids, man. Like, they're getting bigger every day,
Yeah, I definitely was feeling a certain way when I picked up a second job to help start paying for the wedding. We were saving for a house, which the buyer or the seller of the house that we just put
Awesome.
an offer in accepted the offer today. So we're starting that whirlwind of fun.
Nice.
But Dana would call me or text me saying, Rowan's crying for you. And I'm just sitting there like, I can't, like, I felt so bad. And I just remember thinking all I want to do is spend time with her. And then COVID happened. And I was just like, holy shit, like, this is it. Like, this is never going to happen again. I am never going to see Rowan every single day.
Yeah.
For probably the rest of, like, my life, like, once this is over. So
Yeah.
it's pretty mind-blowing. It's
and like she's never gonna be 4 again, you know what I mean? She's never gonna be 5 again. Like, you got to really cherish these years, man.
stuff they don't really tell you about when they tell you to get sleep when you're gonna have a kid. Get sleep, buy diapers. It's like they don't tell you how to, like, once you actually have that child, like, in your hands, and like how amazing it is. But then you also are like, this is it. Like, she's just turned 4. Like, what the fuck? You were a blob in a bed in a crib,
Right.
and you couldn't do anything. It seems like.
Yeah, dude. I didn't. It sounds kind of shitty, but I didn't think about it like this when my son was this age. You know, when my son was young, I just wasn't. I didn't share this same mindset because I was young too. You know, but now it's like, fuck, my daughter just turned 7, man. My son, he's 13 now, but like, fuck, man, they're getting old quick.
13. Wow, I didn't think he was that old.
Yeah,
Holy.
dude. He's a fucking grown ass man now.
He rips too.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool kid, man. I love hanging out with him for sure. I want to talk to you about Woodward, man, because I was going through your Instagram. I saw you had a picture at Woodward. Have you spent a lot of time there?
I mean, like an okay amount. I worked there for a summer.
Okay.
I started. It's called OSI. I think it was called OSI. Basically, you just sit there and make sure no one dies.
Nice.
And this was this was the summer of 2010. Before that, I'd only gone there for weekends. They would, during the winter, they would open up camp for a weekend, so you could go ride Lot 8 or Cloud 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like $170, like nothing crazy. They put you up for a night and then give you, like, you know, free breakfast.
Nice.
So I'd worked there, and then after that, I didn't work there again. I don't remember why, but I was an instructor for a week, and the very first morning, that would have been Monday morning because kids get in there Sunday, I had a group of, like, relatively young kids. I want to say maybe 9 and 10, and they all wanted to go to Cloud 9 because, you know, that's where the pros go. That's where the pros ride. They want to go to Cloud 9. It's got the biggest ramps. It is the least kid-friendly skate park there, I think. It might be better now, but so there's a gigantic roller box, and all these kids, I'm like, all right, everyone, like, let's turn around on the quarter pipe and just pedal, and, like, we'll get up it. Not even 5 minutes into the session, kid falls backward, didn't make it up the roller, fell backwards, put his wrist out. His wrist is now look like an S. I felt so bad. Because, like, all these kids want to do is go watch, like, Andy Buckworth or someone ride, whoever the visiting pro was that week.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I felt so bad. I was like, I knew we shouldn't have went there. And I think the rest of the week, the kids just jumped in the foam pit.
Mm-hmm.
I might not have been the best instructor. I think I tried to help them.
Yeah, y'all go on, get over to that foam pit. I'm going to go sit over here and drink some coffee, man.
And I felt bad, but it's also, I'm not a good teacher when it comes to riding. Like, I don't.
Okay.
I guess I realize that now. It took me that to realize, but it's like, I can explain to you, I guess, how I do something, but I don't even know if I know how I do it. Because I feel like after a certain point, it's sort of like a second nature, I guess. I don't know. Like, if I'm doing a fast manual 180, you can't sit there and dissect it. Or if you're, like, trying to do a toboggan airing out of, like, a 12-foot quarter, that's a little better. But some of the more tech things, then you really get into the gritty stuff with like I think the basics are the hardest, like how to tire tap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely tough teaching that stuff. And most of it's just motivation at that point, just, pushing kids to ride. They'll learn it. You know what I mean? We all learned it in our own way. You can't really teach it. It's just keeping them stoked, keeping them motivated. But yeah, I wondered that because like I'd never been to Woodward, and I don't know. Obviously I wanted to go for a long time, but now it's gotten to the point where it's like, damn, man, I've been riding since the mid '90s. I've never gone. Shit, do I even need to go? Like shit,
I would definitely think so. Like it's getting a little better. Like it's getting a lot easier to go now. Like they're having open sessions. There's the 18 and over weekend.
Nice.
I think that's in the fall. But after working there, I was able to come back through with Mutiny for 2 summers in a row.
Oh, sweet.
And that was it was awesome, like riding with kids, and it was weird that some kids knew who I was. I think that's the weirdest thing ever, but it was cool that like I can just sit there and like session with kids, and some of it was jibbing, and other than like actually a lot of it was jibbing. It's weird. You go to Woodward and we rode a handrail, not even a handrail, a flat rail for like 4 hours.
Oh
It's like,
God.
that's an expensive flat rail, but
Jesus,
like,
man.
we just had a good time, and I think that's really what it's about. Because Woodward at one point in time in BMX was huge. Like every company sent teams there. Like, yes, you're paying to go there to learn stuff, but I remember wanting to go as a kid. Guess where Dave Muir and Ryan Nyquist were? At Woodward. Like all these pros are there. You want to go, you want to meet them. Like, so I do think it's important for like pros to go there because it gets the kids so stoked. Like seeing Jamie Bestwick ride in real life, breathtaking.
Yeah, I bet. I've talked about this many times. It's like when you see one of those pros ride in person, it all just kind of clicks on like, oh, okay, that's why they are where they are, because they're just fucking unbelievable.
Like, yeah. Well, watching an Instagram clip, but like watching him do it in real life, just so nonchalantly airing 12 feet, you're just like, oh my God. Or like there's just so many other people just watching a professional bike rider ride. I still get sucked. I mean, I'm 31 years old. Speaking of that, the other weekend at Brett had that party, and I was sitting on the deck with Colin McKay, and I felt like I was a real dick because I wasn't saying anything, but I was like inside fanboying out so hard. I'm just like, dude, like you're Colin McKay. Like, I can't say hi to you. Like, what do I say? Like, hey or hi?
Yeah.
Like I felt like such a weirdo, and it was like I played you and Dave Mira, like so many things, and then of course finally talked on like road, and it was cool, and it was just like that's still to me is a big aspect of BMX is meeting the people that I looked up to when I was young.
Yeah, dude, I was fortunate to live in the same city as him. He was in Virginia Beach, but I was in Norfolk, the next town over, and like we just kind of hit it off and became friends. And I was like, I don't know, man. I was definitely stoked because he, like you say, man, he's fucking Colin McKay. But I don't know. I think we just related and we just became friends.
I mean, yeah. When it comes down to it, you're just BMX riders.
Yeah.
Like you guys just ride. You ride kids' bikes.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's like that star status.
Yeah, I know. And that's important though. Let's not like let's not diminish that at all. Because that's very important in BMX too, is like aspiring to, just kind of like getting stoked on watching your favorite pros ride. I don't want social media to kind of dumb that down. You know what I mean? Because that was really important for us growing up.
Yeah, I mean, we had to wait for props, had to wait for videos to come out, years, wait for those VHS tapes, I remember searching all over the towns I lived in for Dig, because, it's a UK magazine, so it's Barnes & Nobles only. So it was like you had to go to the right Barnes & Nobles to find it, like getting Ride. I remember being in school. The only thing that was in my backpack was like a dance comp catalog. And then like a Trans World BMXer. Like I even remember having Snap, like just all of these magazines.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, even the shitty magazines like Snap.
I love Snap. I mean, at that time I was still racing, and I was like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
definitely a dirt jumper because I race. And then I had like these little tiny sets of trails. But
Yeah. I never
that
raced before. I've never raced one fucking BMX race in my life.
I don't know if I could actually say I was a legitimate racer or not, because I couldn't tell you if I actually tried when I was a kid.
Yeah, dude. I've just never done it. I don't know. I've kind of always wanted to, but I think I could do decent, but it's like anything else. I just don't want to take away from the BMX that I fucking barely ride anyways. Like I don't have time to get into something else, but I'd like to ask you some questions, man, because we got quite a few questions here on the old Instagram.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Hopefully I haven't sounded too ridiculous yet. This wine's getting real strong right now.
Is it red or white?
It's a white. I'm not a red fan. I can't do
you
red.
fucking pussy, man.
I know. Believe me, I hear it all the time, but I just never liked red wines. I don't know.
Whatever. So I want to just send a shout out to this guy, B Air BMX. He's been really he's been really involved and just sending a lot of feedback to me. So I really appreciate that. And he asked what it's like balancing a day-to-day life of being a dad, working and being a BMX rider. I don't know. We kind of went over that a little bit, but maybe you could elaborate a little more on your kind of like scheduling and how often you ride and shit like that.
Well, right now, the living situation's a little weird for me. We had moved during the quarantine, actually like right when the quarantine started. We actually moved in with my mom to help save to get a house. I mean, you can understand how much a house is.
Yeah.
So that started in March. If everything goes according to plan, we'll settle September 1st. Where I live now, it's a bit of a stretch to the skate park, even to downtown. Before, I only lived 5 minutes away, so it's a lot easier to get a session in. Now it's a little bit more of an ordeal. It's about an hour in the car round trip just to get to the skate park, but been trying to make it work. Been meeting my friend Wes and my friend John a lot. My friend Wes lives in Bethlehem. I just met him in Westchester actually last weekend. Rode this skate park that had the best quarter pipe I think I've ever ridden in my life. But oh my god, I want that thing in my backyard so bad.
Yeah,
that's not the Jibbin, but yeah, just riding as much as I can, and then once we move into the house, it's gonna go back to normal where it'll be 2 or 3 times a week. Get to the skate park. Not doing anything crazy. I'm not training, but
yeah,
it's always good to just put headphones in and cruise around. I grew up riding by myself a lot, so I think I cherish headphones a lot more than some people.
I can't do that shit, man.
I don't know. It's just that was the motivation. Music's a big motivator for me because I didn't really have a lot of people to ride with at a certain point in time in my life. So
yeah,
still
music's huge, man. It will definitely set some vibes, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, talking about props
rock, baby.
Props rock, the best playlist on Spotify.
Hey, yeah, but yo, thanks for that question, man. BMX, keep up the feedback. I love it, man. So let me move down to the next one. Brett Downs. Yes, dude. I mean, what can you say about Brett Downs, man? He's been riding for damn near 50 years, bro.
Yeah, long time. He's another one that I want to sit down with and hear some of those stories because I know there's got to be some crazy ones.
Yeah, a lot of respect for that dude. He just wanted to say, when are we riding York Park or FDR? I want to see how you'll paint those canvases.
I haven't been to FDR in a long time, but that looks like a fun place to jib now. No, I don't know. We always talk about it. We always talk about it, but then I'll see him in the randomest place, and it's always no bikes. Or he'll just – I think the last time I saw him was Welcome Jam in Pittsburgh, actually. He was there, but I think he was there with his wife and I think he was there with his family. So they were riding stuff, and I mean, at Welcome Jam, it's really just the woods room. You're just in gigantic trains the whole time. There's other events and stuff, but that seems to be where the real meat and potatoes of the session is.
Yeah, for sure.
So that hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you been to FDR a bunch of times or?
Not a whole bunch. I actually lived in Philadelphia for a couple months, and I don't think I went to FDR once, to be honest.
I just want to figure that whole situation out. Like I heard it's no bikes, but it's only because like the skateboarders are assholes or something like that.
I think it stems back pretty far. I've been there with skateboarders. I went a lot when I was younger. I was always a pegless kid, so maybe they didn't care for me as much because I didn't have pegs on. Like one less thing to destroy the park. You know, this was before plastic pegs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I've been there with some people that are pegless, and it was just like inches away from a big brawl. And I've been there with people with pegs, and it's like the coolest session ever. Like we're just sharing the park, you know, throwing lines across the entire thing. Everyone's cool. I think it's really just a matter of like maybe the attitude you bring in. Like I know DeLucky, I think, goes there a lot. There are some people that go there so much that they probably know the locals and they're probably cool with them. And they realize like, oh, if I fuck this up, I'll help fix it. I'll help get concrete or quickcrete or however.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. Like we're not BMX bikes. We're not fucking shit up anymore like we used to. That's what it's like. I'd love to just have a conversation, man. Be like, yo, the shit you guys are saying, like no bikes allowed at skate parks. That shit's from the '90s when bikes used to just destroy shit.
Metal everywhere, metal pedals, metal bar ends, metal pegs. I mean, I don't remember the last time I had any of those items that were metal, but I don't know. I think it's sometimes maybe bikers go in there with the bad attitude and they just start like snaking people. I mean, all it takes is one snake, even if it's like an accidental. Like even to this day, if I accidentally snake someone, I'm like, yo, like I'm real sorry. Like probably nicer than I should be, but it's like I'm not trying to cause anything. Like it was an accident. I didn't see you were going. Skateboarders, they're fast as fuck. They can go from 0 to 90 in just like one step. So I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I don't fully agree with that situation. Like I'd argue that, you know, maybe we came in with a bad attitude because we're on edge because of the tone that you guys are setting as skateboarders. Like if y'all just chill the fuck out, everything will be cool. Like I obviously people do snake people. I fucking get it. There are young kids at skate parks who just snake because they just don't know. But like, if you just fucking change the atmosphere there, like I think, man, we can all just get along, you know?
Yeah, I mean, well, even who was it? I think Chris Cole, when he was on that 9 Club interview, he like really, he's for BMX.
For sure.
Like he has some play in Colt, or I don't know if he still does or not, but he like helped explain to them that like we're not like if I'm gonna go ice pick this ledge, I'm not gonna smash my peg into it as hard as possible. He literally put it the best way. He's like, you put your peg on it and then you push. Like it's not like you're slamming down. There's like an art form to it almost. Like we're not out to destroy the spot. Like we don't want to destroy the spot. We want to ride it just like you want to ride it. We're not trying to fuck you guys over.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of goes back to the Mir and Jim Selinsky debacle on Road Fools. It was like Dave was grinding the coping at a pool, you know, and like Selinsky was getting butthurt about it, which is fully warranted. But like I'd argue that it's all part of the game. Like this is what we do, regardless of what we're riding. Like it's a pool, but you know what? This is part of BMX, man. Like I'm gonna fucking grind this, but I know that's not a popular argument, but there's two sides to everything, you know.
I completely forgot about that because I remember buying that because it was the first DVD that Props ever made. Was that Road Fools 9? I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like that Fresno trip.
Yeah, that was the California thing. Yep.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. Holy shit.
But anyways, man, I know that's not a popular argument, but like there is two sides, man. We gotta talk about this shit. But let's move on to the next question, man. So we just did Brett. This next guy, his name is Corey. He's actually a local guy to the Indy area, and I've been riding with him quite a bit. Cool dude. He just said talk old heads, OG BMX. So I don't know. There's just so many different eras of BMX. We kind of discussed the what we grew up in. What do you know about like old school BMX? You ever pay attention to shit like that?
I mean, other than like Instagrams, no. And I've been trying to get better about watching older movies. Just, like learn history, like learn where we came from, like early Matt, like early Mira, like Dorkin in York, like stuff like that. But unfortunately, I'm kind of embarrassed for how much I don't know. Yeah, like I know I need to watch them at some point. It just never really got around to it, and now it's really hard to like sit down and watch a movie. Although I did buy Nathan Williams' edit, so I'm highly anticipating that.
Nice. That's not out yet. You just did like a pre-order thing, or?
Yeah, I think it was like $4 for 1080 or $5 for the 4K. That's through Christian Regal. Yeah, like that's an interesting way of, if that's the way edits go. But I mean, if you watch the B-roll, I mean, first off, Nathan Williams, he's insane, and Christian Regal is an amazing cinematographer, videographer. Hear people, there's like 8,000 words for someone that holds a camera. He's good. He's really good at what he does. And if I can pay $5 to watch 7 minutes, to put 7 minutes of heaven, I just watched a TV show and they talk about that. They were kids. If I'm there for 7 minutes in heaven watching this, it is well worth putting some money and helping support some other BMXers. So I do feel kind of bad that I'm setting, like, I want to watch that, but I also know I want to watch older stuff. But when it comes down to it, I think I would just rather watch, I don't know, newer stuff. I feel
you for sure. If you do have a chance, watch a movie called Ride On. It's probably, I'm not going to say it's the best movie of some early days, but it's a really good BMX video. But I will say, man, I hope Christian doesn't botch the colors like he did in Market Zero. My bad.
I love Market Zero. Like, and that was such a crazy concept at the time. Like, and everyone in that video, it was, I think that's still that's sitting in my iTunes. I watch that every once in a while.
Nice.
I find it kind of hard I have certain videos I go back to that have crazy replay value for me. Low tech mixtapes are always at the top.
Eddie Cleveland, what up?
Eddie Cleveland. I think if I sweated any pro rider, it was Kevin Porter and him. Like, just something about those two, like being pegless. I grew up pegless. I rode pegless for years and years. Like, I have pegs now, just because it helps me diversify what I'm doing. I have more options.
Yeah.
But I think if I ever had to if I had to do something, it would be a skate park and pegless and just flow around. 'Cause you can still jib. You don't need pegs to jib, but
yeah, dude. Let's move on to another question, man. This is from a guy named Tom Russell BMX. I think he might ride for Cult or Mutiny or some shit.
He was getting hooked. He was on Mutiny for a while, and then Robbie picked him up. I don't know. He's a UK dude. I'm pretty. Yeah,
he's
he rides for Cult now.
That dude's pretty unbelievable too, man. If anyone listening, just pause this thing right now. Go to Tom Russell BMX. That's with 2 L's. Go on his Instagram and just check this dude out. He's just fucking good, man.
He he is in, like, he's a wild dude. I've seen I don't even know how to describe his riding.
Yeah. He'll do like a bar spin to tabletop to tire slide on a quarter,
And it's
just like,
it's like fully clicked, like, it's so good.
He said his question was secret to being so good?
I wish he would tell me.
I know, right?
I don't know what to say to that. Oh, I want to go over to the UK so bad.
Oh, dude, I'm dying to. I'm fucking
And
dying.
we're not even allowed to now. But at some point, all of those parks, like, I mean, I'm sure in the Midwest there were indoor wooden parks, but like an indoor wooden park will always be where my heart lies.
Oh, of course,
It
of
sounds weird to
course.
say, but like,
No, I'm with you, man.
oh man, just a good indoor wooden park session with the boys.
Yeah, Ramp Riders is still there in St. Louis, man. I need to go. I've never been there. It's like I heard that vibe is still there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. We gotta
Oh,
fucking plan a trip there.
yeah, I've never been anywhere west of Columbus, besides like California, but like Midwest range, like Four Seasons, like all those parks in that like spot of the United States. I want to go so bad because like
Yeah.
I just want to go in the old dusty warehouses and hang out.
Yeah, for sure.
Never been to Rays. Never been to Rays either.
Are you serious?
Why does everyone say that?
It's just fucking wrong, man. You're so close. Like, what? You gotta go, man. It's unbelievable there.
I think it always seems so far away, but I don't really like the wheel mill is about 4-ish hours away. So I just always pictured the wheel or Rays being that much further, but it's a different route, I think, to get there.
Yeah, man. Fuck the wheel mill, man. I mean, the wheel mills, they got that.
Wheel mill's awesome. I love.
I know. They do have that dope jump room, which is sick. But fucking Rays is just endless, man. But anyways, let's move on. Next question is from a guy named. Hey, by the way, Tom Russell. Thank you so much for that question, man.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
Let me know when you bottle that secret, because I'll definitely buy some.
Yeah, keep fucking ripping, dude. I love it. Next question is from a guy named Robbie Taylor. This dude is another ripper. Not sure how familiar you are with this guy. I think he lives in North Carolina. I'm pretty sure. He said, do you appreciate riding more now as opposed to when you lived in Austin and riding was an easy task? And then he also continued on to say, and some old school dudes say that you ride your best in your 30s. How do you feel about that?
Well, man, it is really weird to think about before rowing, like pre-child life. I would say I think I might have taken for granted living in Austin at the time. There were definitely a lot of days where it was like, oh, I rode yesterday, I'll ride tomorrow, or I would just ride in the morning before work, and that consisted of meeting up with Gaz and Scotty, pumping around the bowl for like an hour or two, mainly sitting there talking shop, and then going to work, and that was it. I wouldn't ride anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I do miss how easy it was, because the skate park, I worked 2 or 3 blocks away from the skate park. So it was a lot simpler and a lot easier to ride than it is now. Getting away for a couple hours is a little bit more. I feel like I'm veering off topic. But the second part, I definitely feel like I don't ride better. I'm more confident in what I do.
Okay.
I feel like I have more control than before. Like I would just try to do something and not really think it through. Although I've always been a very cautious rider, I wouldn't do anything that I knew like I could die on.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, maybe that's good or bad. I don't know. I guess it really depends on how you look at it. More calculated, I guess you could say. But I definitely feel like if I know I want to do something or I have something in my mind, I feel like I accomplish it easier. Like it's not easier, but I understand it more than I did. And that just takes time. I mean, I'm reading a book it's called The Sports Gene.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who it's by. But they bring up the 10,000 hour rule. And
Yeah.
Malcolm Gladwell has a book called Outliers that I plan on reading next, and they talk about that a lot. And going in depth just about that, like that phrase, like 10,000 hours and you're a master. I mean, it was about chess originally, but it was, I definitely feel like once you put enough time in, you've done a lot of the scenarios you get yourself into. Like there's a lot more airs now that before I would have freaked out on and cased sprockets super heavy or clipped my nose and like went over the bars. You just get more comfortable being on a bike because you've been on it for so long. I mean, we've been doing this for 20 years. Like it's.
Yeah, that's a good point about the book. Actually, I looked up. It's from a writer named David Epstein. He's an investigative journalist, and yeah, it seems like a book on training and athleticism, and yeah, go ahead.
I got it more for the running aspect.
Okay.
But there's a couple chapters about the 10,000 hour rule, and I was just like, this obviously applies to BMX more than running for me.
Yeah, and like I think some people come into BMX already possessing the ability to progress easier than some other people. You know what I mean? Like body type and just having it. You know what I mean? I've talked about that before. Just having like that it factor and stuff, and like, yeah, I don't know.
I would say, yeah. I mean, and things are different now. When I started, my bike was 50 pounds, and I might have weighed 100. Like, and I'm not saying they have it easier now, but it is crazy the progression. Like seeing all these little kids. Like, I remember meeting the Hallahans when they were super young, and they have just grown up to be such rippers. All four of them. Like Casey is the youngest now, and she's getting up there. Like she's starting to go through the trails and like pump around and stuff. And it's awesome. Like if Rowan wants to do that, by all means. But part of me, and this might just be being an overprotective father, we know what that pain feels like. I don't want my daughter to ever be hurt. Like I've smashed my face into the ground. I've broken bones. Like I realize it makes you a better person, builds character, as they would say. But I don't know if that's like something. I mean, I'm obviously she already likes to go to the skate park with me, but
yeah, I totally feel you, man. I feel you on that 100%. That kind of leads me to the next question. This is from a gentleman named Nilo Hodge Photo. I don't know this person, but I looked at his Instagram, and he's got some good fucking photos on there. So thanks for this question, man. It says, how many times have you broke out your front teeth?
I grew up riding with Nilo, actually.
Nice.
He was like he was one of the local people, like the local good BMX riders.
Was he a local pro?
He was getting, I think he was getting flow from Robbie, from Colt. But
you must not listen to my local pro episode. So my definition of local pro was just the number one dude in that area, in the town, at the skate park. It was just the number one person, had nothing to do with sponsors.
Yes, he was. There was actually a group of guys. There was a group of guys that grew up in that area, and he was definitely one of them. So yeah, by that definition, he absolutely was a local pro.
That's
and
awesome.
Still to this day, like getting likes and stuff on Instagram is cool, whatever. But when I see the people that I remember looking up to like stuff, like that to me is still like, fuck yeah, like.
Oh yeah, that's
like
awesome.
Sweating this dude when you're a kid, like you're saying, like a local pro, like he was everything. Like you went to the skate park, I didn't ride because he was riding. You were watching, like
totally.
So I've broken my front teeth out. For some reason they broke in half at one point. I think it's 4 times now. And they've just been capped. I don't know why they never fully broke out. At some point I was like, they just need to break out so I can get like just do it. And it just never really worked. There was a couple years where I didn't have dental insurance. I couldn't get them fixed. So I was just walking around with like half of my 2 front teeth, and it sucked.
Damn.
And then like I'd forget and like go up to random people and meet them, and then
Yeah.
later on I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. You go up to a girl at a bar. What's up? Lisp and
A
shit.
couple beers right out the window. You completely forget.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's been 4 times now, and
Damn.
I think I'm set. Like they're good now. They're capped. I'm working on. The dentist wants to like take them out and like do the proper implants finally, because I finally work a job where I have good dental insurance.
Damn, man, that's
Thanks,
wild.
Thanks, Nilo.
Yeah, Nilo, thank you, man. I love your photos. Keep it up. You're killing it. Got a very random question here. It says, "What is your go-to Sheetz order?" Sheetz, I think, is a gas station, right?
Yeah, Sheetz is a gas station, but they make some of the best I guess you could classify it as fast food. To be honest, I don't remember the last time I got Sheetz. Really been working on trying to eat healthier because it's all just fried food at this point. But before, they have the best French fries I've ever had in my life, and I don't understand why.
That's awesome.
You get like chicken tenders, and the chicken tenders are bland, like it's whatever. But anything I would get, even just like a sub, always came with the fries. And these fries were just so fucking good. Oh my God, my mouth is watering just talking about it. I think they changed it though. I don't think they have the same fries that they used to, which is a real bummer.
Yeah.
So right now my go-to Sheetz order is a large cold brew black coffee.
Damn. All right.
That's about it. I really try to stay, and also it gets expensive, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like we're talking like $20 a go. Even
God
damn.
damn.
And then Wawa. I know you didn't ask about Wawa, but I have to bring it up because Wawa is better than Sheetz. Some people may want to fight, but whatever you do, just don't knock the teeth out again, or help me and fully knock them out this time.
Yeah.
But Wawa just has better foods, better subs. They don't fry anything. It's all like baked there. So it's just genuinely like a little bit more healthier. But like the salad, you can get spinach. There's a lot more options at Wawa, I feel.
Damn, man. That was from a guy named Ha Bra 56. I think that's how you say his Instagram name. I don't know who that dude is either, but apparently he knows that you're all about them sheets. So thank you for that question, man.
At least the coffee aspect of it now.
Yeah. Next question is from a guy named Percy. That's all his Instagram is, Percy. He said, "What are your thoughts on the Pennsylvania BMX scene?"
So I don't know if you ever seen Ride PA BMX. It's like a scene Instagram. It started out as a website, back before Instagram and all that bullshit. Sort of. I don't want to compare it to Midwest BMX, but it's sort of in the same vein, I guess. Like it's just like a local. He just like captures everything that's going on in Pennsylvania that's BMX related. He lives, I think, about 2.5 hours away from me. I mean, Pennsylvania is nuts. Where I live, it's a little bit slower. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Yeah. He makes pad sets and shirts. He's Matt Smith. He's out of Harrisburg. But central Pennsylvania, there's really not much going on other than like Matt. And there's a couple really good riders here, but I mean Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, like I think they speak for themselves, especially, and you can't leave out like the Lehigh Valley, which is where I actually grew up. But Posh and Caddy, like that, everyone talks about Posh and Caddy. Obviously, they're legendary trails, but they don't talk about the 7 skate parks that are around there or the other sets of trails that are within 20 minutes of that. Like that little, if the weather was better, I think the Lehigh Valley could be like Austin,
the hub.
Like there's so much going on there BMX wise. There's Penn State. That's the oldest indoor skate park in Pennsylvania, maybe the world. I don't know. I've been going there. There's pictures of me there when I couldn't even drop in like a box jump with my bike. Like I was a little kid and this bike was gigantic. So that's the first place I knocked out. Actually, I knocked out my teeth there 2 times. 2 separate occasions. But that's besides the point.
I figured as much.
Of course, the skate park. Yeah, Pennsylvania has such a crazy BMX scene and history in BMX. I mean, also you can't forget about Woodward. So there's just so much going on, and it doesn't seem that big, but when there's a jam going on in Pittsburgh only for a few hours, and I wish I could make it, it's 4 hours there, 4 hours back, gets to be a little too much. I don't make it out there as much as I would like to.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Phillies.
Yeah, dude, I haven't spent much time in Pennsylvania, like riding. I honestly I don't. You said the wheel mill is where?
The wheel mill's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I've been there, but that's pretty much it, man.
I mean, it's unless I don't know, because you go Pittsburgh. We're 3 hours east of Pittsburgh. The Lehigh Valley's about an hour and a half, depending on what speed limit you prefer.
Yeah.
And then Philadelphia is about 2.5 hours. So Pittsburgh's like a good stopping point, because if you want to go further, it's just that much further. It's not like an hour, like half an hour. Like you gotta actually trek almost across the entire state. And it's not a bad drive. It's a lot. I mean,
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I loved Pittsburgh though, man. It's just a little gritty, like it's got some like industrial, aspect to it. I loved it.
I remember when I moved there, I was really afraid that it was going to be like the movie Deer Hunter.
Oh shit. Hell yeah.
And it kind of was. Some parts were, but I don't know why I had it in my head. Like I watched Deer Hunter and then moved like a week later, and I was just like, oh my God, it's going to be crazy. Yeah. And then I got there and I was like, oh, it's not that bad. That
Deer Hunter music's just playing every time you're walking down the street in Pittsburgh for sure.
These little steel mill towns.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Deer Hunter's a good movie, man. Got one more question for you, man. It's from a guy named Oki215. Not sure who that is, but thanks for the question. It said, why do you always get that extension so perfect, you alien? I think he's referring to the tabletop I posted.
Shit, that's your guess is as good as mine. Tabletop's like that one trick that I personally will always have to feel like I need to work on. I still just can't like understand. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Mm-hmm. Some days my legs feel like they go in the right spot, other days they feel like they don't. That particular clip you posted of me might be, and Nilo actually messaged me, and I said, that's probably the best clip of me there's ever been. I think that's the coolest thing I've ever done, and I'm 1.5 feet off the ground.
Yeah, tabletops are a very odd thing. I just feel I always wondered, is there a perfect tabletop?
I think, Gary, if they're like, and you could even get into the definition of a tabletop, because you have a tabletop, you have an invert. Like when I think of tabletops, I think of Vic Murphy, think of Gary Young, like just Dirt Brothers, Dirt Brothers in general. But then like Chase, like Hawk sometimes does really good tables, but then other times they look more like inverts. And I think he can sort of play with them. Him and Dan Foley have the ability to like alter how they do it to make it look a certain way. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I just don't get it. Like Foley can snap a table, or I guess it would be an invert. See, I don't even know, off a bunny hop. Chase does more of a table off the bunny hop. So it's just like a crazy trick that I still have no idea how to do. Maybe one day I'll get it. Maybe I just need to find that perfect top tube length. I bounce around too much. I buy a lot of frames. I like to think I'm helping out the BMX economy.
Yeah, that's dope,
switch
dude.
Frames every couple months.
Yeah, that's awesome. I see you bought that FBM a while back. That got me really hyped. Made me want to go
I
buy an FBM.
I love that. I just wasn't. Oh, like I knew how short the rear end was, but when it really came down to it, for some things, it scared me a little bit. I was getting a little too loose pulling back, and there wasn't a lot of real estate back there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I moved back up. I got a BSD Soldier. That was a little bit longer than that, and now the Mutiny I'm on the Comb. That's 13, and I have that thing slammed, and it feels good. Like that must just be like the magic number for me. Because I mean, it's all about everything is pretty general back in the day. Now, like you really have to it's like a fine tooth comb figuring out what exactly you like, your head tube angle, your top tube, your bottom bracket height, which I don't really know.
I don't know shit about that. I've never.
Yeah, like I said that, and I was like, well, that's a good example of things I don't really notice, but there's just certain things like stand over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thank you, I guess. I don't.
Hell yeah.
It's just one of those things that I feel like I'll always have to work on. All I ever want is a good tabletop picture. I don't give a fuck about a line. I want a good tabletop picture.
Yeah. That's everything. Yeah, dude. Well, fucking shit, man. Evan Smedley, dude. Thank you so much, bro. It's been sick.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much or
Oh man,
offend anyone.
rambling is good, man. If you're a rambling man.
Oh, that should be the outro. Actually, I don't want you to get flagged, so don't. Yeah, it's awesome. Like I said, it's awesome to just talk about BMX. I don't ever really like to talk about myself. So
yeah, I feel like there's quite a few BMX podcasts, and that's dope. But I just wanted to take like a different approach and just I don't know, man, just talk about some different stuff. Like, yeah, I care about where people came from, and I care about your story and shit. But like, I don't know. I think more or less we've all kind of had similar stories growing up, and like I'd like to talk about some other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and well, even when we were talking about even just like the 9 Club experience, like what's going on in BMX, things are happening so fast. If someone's off a team, like or like just any news in general, not someone's off a team, like a new product comes out or a new edit drops, like it does, things filter so fast now that there's still, like I said, there's still edits that I go back and watch religiously that came out years and years ago. And it's just like some things just need to be talked about more than a like and a comment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely not communication for sure, man. And some stuff needs to be questioned too, you know?
Yeah. Anyone, I don't know if I feel like I'm one to question anything, but I obviously have an opinion on things. Everyone has an opinion on things, whether it be good or bad, but it shouldn't, I feel like my opinion shouldn't be something bad. I don't really know how to phrase what I'm trying to say.
Saying. I know what you're saying. You mean well, you know what I mean?
Constructive criticism. How about that?
There you go. Hell yeah, man. Well, stay up. Good luck with the fam. Good luck with the wedding and the house and all that shit. It looks like you got a lot moving right now, but hey, you need to get away. Let's go to Rays, man. You got to go.
I mean, maybe this winter I am definitely trying to get there. I'm definitely trying to just get out and ride a little bit more, like we talked before about that. Yeah. Like I think I'm back to the point now where I'm finally itching to ride and like get out of the house, especially during quarantine, even though I wear my mask, everyone chill. But this quarantine's been hard. Not hard. It's obviously been hard for everyone, but I wanted to get out and ride before. Now I really want to.
Yeah.
Because you're just in the house all day. Like, what else?
Yeah. Yeah.
At least I am.
Yeah, let's take this situation, turn it into a positive in the long run, you know?
Yeah. Well, we should do let's do this again soon. I'm going to ask you questions.
Oh, I'm all about it, man. Hit me up. All right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah. Take it easy, brother.
All right, dude. Later.
See you.
As always, thank you all so much for tuning in and listening to this. It's been awesome. I can't wait to do more. You got any ideas? Shoot them my way. I'm always down to talk. I'm always down to bullshit. I've already taken some ideas from y'all, and it's been sick. So keep it coming. All right, I'm out of here. Just want to remind you to live your life. All right, don't live somebody else's. Live your own damn life. I'm out. Peace.
Remake.